My name is Simona Weinstein and I am 40. It's hard to say. So 20 years ago, approximately, I studied a Bachelor of Arts, majoring in psychology, and a Bachelor of Business, majoring in accounting. But I went on to do the accounting because it seemed like the career that I could take on and earn money straight away, and I just got married and it was important to make sure that things were, that I could pay the bills. So I went on to do accounting and I worked at Deloitte's, and then I had children in between, a few temp jobs and a few part-time jobs, and that's what I did. I liked the maths. I liked the idea that everything balanced at the end of the day. That felt important to me. And I just thought that it would be a good grounding, good basic kind of career, a safe career to embark on. And the funny story is that when I had to fill in my preference card for university many years ago, I filled in the wrong number. So I got myself into an arts and an accounting degree instead of just straight accounting. So I thought I'll go and do it, which I did. So I went on to do accounting and arts, and I actually loved also the psychology side, but I continued. There was no pressure. It was just more about what's the most practical thing to do as well. About in 2007, I went to New York. It was the first time that I'd left my children. My husband and I travelled to New York for my brother's wedding, and that took a lot of guts and it took a lot of courage to say, okay, I've got 4 children, and it took a lot of courage to say, right, I don't need to be there 24/7 for them. Somebody else can help take a little bit care for them and they can meet their needs. So I decided I'm going to take the plunge and we'll leave them here for 2 weeks and we'll travel to New York. Now that took me so far out of my comfort zone that when I got to New York, I realised, oh my goodness, if I can do this, I can do anything. I can step out of my comfort zone. My children will be fine, and they were fine when I got back, so much so that when I got back after 2 weeks in New York, 5 days later I was on a plane with my sister-in-law to Port Douglas for a couple of days, because I was on this high of, wow, I really can do anything and I don't need to stick inside of my comfort zone. And when I was in New York also, I rediscovered who I was without having children around and without having all those set responsibilities, and I decided there really is something inside of me that is yearning to get back to the art. And I said to my husband, what do you think of this? You know, what do you say about that? Because it meant that there were different hours. It meant that the income was not going to be as regular as it could be if I was in a regular accounting job. And he said, go for it. See what comes up. So I Googled it, found a course online, found a course that was convenient, and went and loved every minute of it and haven't looked back. The sacrifices are the regularity. A, the regularity of the income. B, the hours. C, the fact that art therapy was a real unknown. Even now, 6 years later, the expansion and the increased awareness of Melbourne with art therapy, it's worlds apart compared to what it was in 2007 even, so it's made such leaps and bounds. But at the time there was nothing there, and I had to create, even my volunteer work for my placements in art therapy, I had to create it, I had to educate the person that I was asking a job from, even as a volunteer, and say, this is what it is, how do you feel about me taking a few hours, taking a few people from the psychiatric unit or from a palliative care unit, all these different places that I went to. They said, oh, you know, we're not really sure what it is, but see what you think, go for it. So that education, that unknown, was a risk as well, definitely. I love it. I'm passionate about it. I love speaking about it. I love showing people. I love seeing the benefits more than anything, watching the people sit opposite their artwork and say, that aha moment is huge, because it's those aha moments that create the change in people's lives and the way that they behave as well. Switching careers has been one of the most fulfilling moves that I have made, definitely. It's tapped into my creative side as well as my desire to help as well as my desire to educate. I enjoy that, spreading the word and being part of something that's newish here in Melbourne, in Australia. So yeah, it's been very fulfilling. If somebody asked me whether to make a switch or not, I would tell them to firstly use their rational sense. If it's going to be something that makes sense and they're not going to struggle through it, that's the first step. And the second step is go with the flow. Just allow yourself to go with the stream and sail along with it, because if it's meant to be, it will be, and it'll keep on coming up for you. It'll come and find you, and I say go with it. Go with it, because if it's really something you're passionate about, it'll happen for you. It'll happen for you.